I drove through Tarentum. I drove through Brackenridge. Last but not least is the unincorporated community of Natrona. Natrona is located along the banks of the Allegheny River in Harrison Township. Part of the Pittsburgh metropolitan area, it sits 24 miles northeast of downtown Pittsburgh. Lock and Dam Number 4 is situated across the river from Natrona. The community of Natrona was known as East Tarentum originally. It was a company town for the Pennsylvania Salt Manufacturing Company in the 1850s. Have you ever wondered where the name Natrona came from? Well, here's your answer. A natron is a natural occurring mineral composed primarily of sodium carbonate and sodium bicarbonate. Hence the namesake Natrona. The community of Natrona, not to be confused with Natrona Heights, is a working-class mill town. The housing stock is wood frame and was built at the turn of the 20th century. While Natrona Heights has a more suburban feel to it, the community of Natrona has an urban core. Row houses line the streets. The housing stock of Natrona Heights is mainly post-World War II. Natrona was along the route for the Pennsylvania Canal. The Pennsylvania Canal passed through these communities in the early to mid-19th century. The canal was eventually replaced by the Pennsylvania Railroad, otherwise known as the Pennsy. Natrona has a history of heavy industry. The Pennsylvania Salt Manufacturing Company had 2 mines in Natrona. Bituminous coal was mined at those mines. The community of Natrona is part of the Highland School District. Back in the day, there were 113 businesses in the community of Natrona. The railroad brought passengers and goods into the community. Here are the row houses that were built for Penn Salt employees. The community even had its own currency. Employees used Penn Salt dollars to make purchases at the company stores. The community consisted of grocery stores, a hardware store, churches, and schools. Similar to a lot of industrial towns, Natrona is a little rough around the edges. It has a gritty and non-pretentious feel to it. It kind of has a laid-back vibe. Natrona was a community where blue-collar workers could make a living. The densely populated community makes it very walkable. Driving through, you can see remnants of the small business district. The Penn Salt Historic District is working to preserve the architecture. As someone who admires old architecture, I do these videos to bring attention to these areas. I want to see these historical buildings saved, not demolished. Immigrants who arrived in the United States at the turn of the century flocked to these towns for employment. Immigrants came to the United States to escape oppressive government and for opportunity. The Penn Salt Historic District has plans to revitalize the community. Like Tarentum and Brackenridge, Natrona is a hop, skip, and a jump from Route 28. Route 28 makes for an easy commute to downtown Pittsburgh. Another benefit of the area are the recreational opportunities. If you like bike riding, the Butler, Freeport, and Treadway trails are nearby. If you're into water sports, no problem. The Allegheny River is right in your backyard. If you're an avid hiker, there are several county parks nearby, with the closest being Harrison Hills. One of the drawbacks to these communities is that there is no easy way to get to the airport. Depending on traffic, it can take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. Whereas people who live on the western side of the county can just hop on Interstate 79 and 376. These communities represent the hardworking men and women. Families were raised in these close-knit communities. Neighbors knew each other, and children played freely. Work ethic was strong, and people took pride in their community.